Hello. Today I would like to discuss the ecological factors within the tropical rainforest of Panama. The tropical rainforest of Panama can be subcategorized into two smaller forests, the mangrove forest as well as the cloud forest. When I heard this audio clip, the first thing that came to mind was my trip to Panama back in 2013 when I was about 12 years old. Approximately 63% of Panama is covered in forest, the majority of which is made up of mangrove and cloud forest. Additionally, 137,000 square kilometers of land across 118 countries are covered in mangrove forest. Mangrove forests are classified as coastal wetlands and are found abundantly in tropic and subtropic areas. Cloud forests, on the other hand, are found in temperate and tropical areas, usually found in areas with mountains where rainfall is high. Cloud forests aren't very common, only found in 1% of all forested areas across the world. Because of this, the majority of the cloud forests are legally protected by environmental agencies and the government. Cloud forests are also found in a wide range of Central American, African, Asian countries such as Colombia, Costa Rica, Thailand, and India. For the purpose of this presentation, I will be focusing in general on ecological factors of tropical rainforests. Tropical rainforests are absolutely gorgeous and are extremely diverse and rich in species. The typical dominating plants of the Panama's tropical rainforest consist of epiphytes such as orchids and moss, while the dominating tree species include trees that derive from the Lauriceae family, such as the Cinnamonum tree and the Laurus tree, also known as the Laurus nobilis or laurel bay. The other species of dominating tree are deciduous endemic oak species, such as the Quercus constarcensis and the Barba oak tree. Secondary succession can be defined as the process by which an ecosystem recovers and reestablishes itself after an extreme disturbance occurs which alters the area. Often this is a result of natural disasters such as floods, forest fires, landslides, but can also result due to human activity. In tropical rainforests, secondary succession is most common following both forest fires during dry periods as well as agriculture and logging. Following this disturbance, the first plants to regenerate are grasses and shrubs which are light-demanding, tolerant to exposure, short-living, and often produce lots of seeds as well as flower or fruit often. Some examples of this would be canal grass, celerywood, and candlenuts, which grow rapidly. The oak trees, Quercus constarcensis, and the Barba oak tree, as well as epiphytes, are later successional plant species which will grow in later successional periods but will once again take dominance once grown. The weather patterns in Panama assist drastically in the time it takes for the rainforest to recover from both natural and human disturbances. After the dry season, which is when most of the forest fires occur, it is followed by a wet season, which aids in the process of seed and nutrient dispersal into the previously damaged area. Annually, Panama receives approximately 1,700 millimeters of rainfall, most of which comes during the wet season between September and November. Tropical rainforests also have some of the most interesting species of animals in my opinion, as well as a lot of diversity within them. When I was in Panama, I took a few pictures of animals we saw, which I hope you enjoy. Within these ecosystems, there are mainly animals which can be seen throughout the whole year, but also have a vast amount of migratory birds which come and leave during the wet and dry seasons. Trophic levels can demonstrate the species-to-species interactions that occur at different trophic levels within a food web or chain. We begin at primary producers such as orchids, which will have its energy transferred to a primary consumer once consumed. As you can see, energy will eventually transfer from the primary producer to the tertiary consumer, which in this case is an apex predator. Apex predators are the animals at the top of the food web with no predators, but will eventually die and most likely be eaten by decomposers or scavengers. Human interaction within the Panama tropical rainforest has recently posed a severe threat for the management and ecological makeup of the forest. The two most worrisome concerns regarding the Panama tropical rainforest are deforestation and hunting. One of the keystone species of the Panama rainforest is a species of tree called the kapok tree. The kapok tree is important for other tropical rainforest plants as it rises above the canopy and produces areas for sunlight-dependent plants to live. Deforestation has been increasing in Panama for the last decade, and the loss of this tree kills other plants and destroys niches. Additionally, hunting of the apex predator, the jaguar, has resulted in an increase of secondary consumers. This process will disrupt the food web and how trophic levels interact. As apex predators decrease, the secondary consumers will receive less predation, causing an increase in their population. As their population increases, they will consume more primary consumers, leaving producers with no predators, allowing their population to increase. As these two trophic levels increase in population, finite resources become depleted and competition increases. As resources decline, the population will decline, causing a new carrying capacity for these species. Overall, these processes will change population dynamics and how species interact with one another in a negative manner. The incorporation of the two-eyed seeing is a practice in which we use both views from the modern West and the indigenous in order to live life and prosper in a respectful manner. We have billions of acres of beautiful forest, from boreal to tropical to Acadian and many more. When considering both sides of the argument, although it is important to retrieve resources for our consumption from forests, it is more important to remember who the land originally belonged to, and the destruction of it isn't fair or ethical. In order to preserve these forests, we must use an approach that both benefits mankind, but doesn't take away from the natural beauty that these forests have had for hundreds of thousands of years. We take for granted the true beauty of what is in front of us, and we must keep these areas alive and thriving for future generations to be able to capture what we were able to. It's hard to imagine our world without these astonishing important ecosystems, and getting to see them firsthand provides a sense of relaxation and inspiration knowing something so amazing is right in front of us.